This week I'm bringing you something a bit different. Here are our 8 goals for Deer Valley Homestead in 2023. Number 1. We want to start work on the house. We've got a lot of plans for this end. At the moment it's an old barn that's falling down. We've been working with an architect. We've come up with some really cool ideas. We're not sure how much of it we can do ourselves, but we need to start nailing down some times and schedules. Number 2. I need to finish this workshop. I've still got a window to install. I still need to do the render on the walls. I need to fix all the cracks. I still need to paint it, and I still need to install the small wood burning stove. Optimistically, maybe 2 weeks. But then when I started it, I also thought I was about 2 weeks away from getting it done. The main issue with the wood stove is that the concrete on the floor is still drying. So whatever happens, even if I install it, I can't use it for at least a month to give this concrete a chance to dry out properly. The process of the concrete going hard takes about a month and actually continues after that as well, but it needs the moisture to be able to do that. If you dry it out completely, your concrete will stop curing. Number 3, I need to improve the infrastructure. This mainly comes down to 2 big jobs. One is the fencing. At the moment it's a combination of this old rebar, old rusty mesh, old railway track of all things, and then old telephone poles as well. All of the gates are temporary. They're all old bits of metal stuck together. None of them are on hinges. None of them actually stop anything coming in and out. The fox can run in and out whenever he wants. And that's not a good thing if you're trying to look after some poultry. This is actually the section that I put underneath the concrete in the workshop, and I really need to get some new fence installed. It's going to be much larger. Instead of stopping where it currently is, it's going to go about another 50 meters down the garden. It's going to give us that big enclosed space that we need to look after all of these animals properly. Most of the fencing is actually here on site already. Just waiting on the fence posts, and that should come in the next 2 weeks. So fingers crossed I'll be able to get on with that, get that finished before the spring growth starts. Another big part of the infrastructure that I need to work on is the water system. At the moment we have a tap about 100 meters down the garden, and we have the one here, and we have another one on the back of the house. The one on the back of the house is the only one that we can use. This one and the one at the end of the garden go to a dead end pipe by the shed door. So then I can use a hose pipe and end up getting water out of these two. I need to dig some holes, put some pipe underground, and get it done properly. What's up, ducks? The third section of infrastructure that we really need to work on is the animals. At the moment we have the guineas, chickens and ducks all living together, which is okay, but it's less than ideal, especially as the guineas get bigger. They will start to bully the chickens. And what we'd really like to do is keep them as 3 separate flocks. The other problem we have is their food storage. At the moment I have the hay bales outside, they're under a tarpaulin, it's about 90% waterproof, so I've already had one of them start composting. Next year these need to be undercover, somewhere safe. I was pretty lucky to get hold of some of these big food barrels. These used to have pineapple juice in them, or a concentrate of pineapple juice, and now I'm using them to store the food. But while they are at least a semi-green colour, they're still pretty ugly, and we just need a better system for putting it all together. Number 4, we'd like to grow a good portion of our own food this year, and that's both raising animals and growing plants. This area behind me is where we would like to put most of those plants in the form of a garden. The things that I'm most interested in growing this year are potatoes and carrots. They're my 2 favourite vegetables. I'm really keen to grow some tomatoes for Beata, that's her favourite. And thirdly, I'd really like to grow some big pumpkins, just because I think it would be fun. Of course, all the animals we have here are very cute and lovely. They are here for a purpose, they are here to produce food for us. At the moment, of course, we're harvesting the eggs, but during the summer months we'd like to raise a couple of batches of meat chickens, we'd like to raise some guineas, some turkeys, and a couple of other animals that we haven't told you about just yet. maybe down the end of the garden. Number 5, I want to start a business. I've been talking about starting a business for about 15 years. Had lots of ideas, and I've always let things get in my way. I said, if I had £5,000 in the bank, I would start one. If I had £20,000 in the bank, I would start one. If I was at home more, I would start one. I found so many excuses not to do it. I put myself in the position where if I was ever going to have a chance at it, it's this year. Don't expect to make a lot of money in the first year, but if you don't try, you will never know. It's time to risk it for a biscuit. I have a bunch of ideas shortlisted, been working on them for a long time, and this year you will see which ones go forward. Number 6, I'd like to grow the channel to 500 subscribers by the end of the year. I think that's a realistic target. Number 7 is just to keep improving. I need to keep improving my video editing skills, my sound editing skills, my presenting skills, just everything involved in trying to run a homestead on YouTube. I've come a long way from when I started, and I have an incredibly long way to go still. I don't mind if I don't beat Mr. Beast by the end of the year, but next year I'll be coming for him. And number 8 is just to have fun. It's the most important thing for me and my partner, just to enjoy ourselves and see where life takes us. Or more importantly, where we take life. Bing! I love the woodpecker, but he's just going for it. Alright guys, that's our 8 goals for 2023. The woodpecker seems to agree, he's making enough noise. Thank you for watching, make sure you're subscribed, and Happy New Year.